Hi, I'm Mike Dano, and I'm with Light Reading, and we're here at the big MWC trade show in Barcelona, Spain. It's the first day of the show. It's a busy show today. Lots going on, lots of people around. But we've carved out some time here with Mishka from T-Mobile. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me, Mike. It's a pleasure to be speaking with you again and being back at MWC. It's busy, and it's only the first morning, so I'm so excited to see what else we're going to see over the next 3 days.
I think so too. I actually strolled by one of the booths, and there was a full-size helicopter at the booth doing a VR demonstration. So already at the first day of the show, I'm seeing things that I've never seen before at this show. So thanks for your time today. There's a lot going on. You have a lot going on right now at T-Mobile. And one of the things that that T-Mobile just recently announced was a private wireless agreement with Amazon Web Services. And so maybe you can just tell us a little bit about that agreement with AWS and kind of how it fits with T-Mobile's broader strategy for business.
Absolutely. So we announced our 5G Advanced Network Solutions portfolio at T-Mobile about a year ago. And this is really the combination of bringing a set of flexible solutions to our customers that has two core components, private networks as well as mobile edge computing, and giving customers the flexibility to choose the type of solution that's right for them based on the type of performance that they're looking for. So within the 5G private network portfolio, we have our macro network, we have our hybrid solution, as well as a full private network deployment. On the mobile edge computing side, same thing. There are flexible options if you want to do it on-prem or in the cloud or hybrid. This is our partnership with AWS that we just announced. Think of it as the co-creation or the collaboration on bringing together two sets of solutions that were available by each of us. So AWS has this integrated private wireless portal, and we are the first US operator working with AWS on bringing the capabilities that our 5G ANS suite of solution offers through their portal. So customers have the ability to go in and choose the type of solution that's right for them, really helping remove the complexity of what it takes to think about a private wireless network deployment. And we of course want to be part of that journey with them. It's so core to what we do at T-Mobile, the DNA of wanting to simplify elements that are interestingly very complex in the industry.
Interesting, and yeah, there's so much stuff going on right now in the private wireless space. The first question that occurs to me about this agreement with AWS is whether or not it is exclusive, either to AWS or to T-Mobile. Like, I wonder if you could just talk about, that you guys have this partnership with AWS. Do you plan to have other agreements with other providers, and how are you looking at that? Do you pick one horse to ride, or are you going to jump to multiple horses in the race to private wireless?
We want to serve the customers the way they want to be served. And what customers are looking for is flexibility. They want to have a cloud agnostic approach. They want to have an OEM agnostic approach. They want to make sure that we can meet them where they are and where their needs are. Some customers are going to have a particular ecosystem that they want to continue building upon, and others are going to have net new deployments where they are really looking to us to help them choose the best solution. We have announced as part of our ANS launch a year ago that we would have a multi-cloud, a cloud agnostic approach. So what we're doing with AWS is very different than what we are doing with others. The reality is that the integrated private wireless network portal that AWS, it's a mouthful. I've been telling them that.
All of these new products are like, there's a lot of,
it offers the simplicity of being able to choose your solution and choose your operator. We are, as I said, the first US operator in the US doing that with AWS.
Okay. And another question for you too, because this is one of the interesting sort of levers in the private wireless space, which is there are licensed spectrum options in private wireless, and there are unlicensed spectrum options. There's the CBRS band, there's Wi-Fi, there's other unlicensed spectrum, but obviously T-Mobile has a large amount of licensed spectrum that it has. And so I wondered if you could talk about, like, what is your approach to that? Are you planning to offer unlicensed offerings in the CBRS band, or is this specifically for T-Mobile's own spectrum in this particular offering?
What really is differentiating us, and you know that, Mike, and you've been writing about it, and we're thankful for that, is, the type of 5G assets that we have at T-Mobile is unparalleled. The leadership that we have in terms of 5G network spectrum is really giving us the differentiation of being able to offer solutions such as a hybrid private network to our customers, so that they don't have to go all the way for a full private network deployment that would be much more costly, that would require more infrastructure. So we are going to focus on what is differentiating us, where we do have a clear leadership position in the industry, and that's our own 5G spectrum. But of course, different use cases require different types of spectrum, and there is a place for CBRS as much as there is a place for Wi-Fi. We do see, because I do get that question all the time. I think that all of these different capabilities can coexist, because customers are going to have different outcomes that they try to get from their technology deployment. But for us, it's really about, of course, leveraging the depth and breadth of our 5G spectrum.
Got it. Okay. That is the very much a differentiator in terms of T-Mobile and what they can bring to market. And so, all right. Here's your last question for private wireless specifically. Is that so? It's a space that's grown a lot in the last couple of years, but we've also had some of the players in the market talk about how it's not evolving as quickly as they had initially expected. Specifically, I'm talking about Verizon has said this, that it's not evolving as quickly as they expected, and same thing with the Del Oro group. They had some big expectations for the market, hasn't quite reached those expectations yet, though presumably it's still growing. So I wondered if you could just address that from your perspective, like how would you describe the growth in this space?
I think it's a very fair question, Mike, that everybody in the industry is trying to think through. There is a lot of excitement, but there are two key barriers that have given pause or reflection to customers. It's around the complexity as well as the cost of this type of deployments. So we at T-Mobile, when we were launching 5G ANS, we were very intentional in removing those two barriers, removing the complexity, giving solutions that are simpler to understand and deploy, so that we could really help our customers and advising them on what's the best solution for them, for the business outcome that they're trying to get to. Because customers are really not buying technology for the sake of buying technology. They want to buy a solution. They want to buy a solution that helps them get to an outcome that they have, because they want to improve their operations, serve their own customers better. So that was really core to what we did when we launched 5G ANS. And by the way, you probably heard me say this before, when we were building the portfolio around 5G ANS, it was really shaped by customer demand. It was really shaped by the trials that we were doing from our customers. We weren't interested in announcing tests, so we took our time really working with our customers to see what's resonating with them, what do they need, and that just right performance, that flexibility we included in our 5G ANS portfolio removes that complexity, but also gives an entry point from a cost perspective that makes it easier for customers to adopt this solution for early deployments. So that's where we are, and we look forward to seeing that growth continue to accelerate in the months and quarters to come, as we continue refining the portfolio and adding more solutions, which is what we did at MWC in the US just a few months ago when we announced our 5G advanced industry solutions, which was really adding an incremental layer to the solution portfolio with specific applications available by industry.
Got it. Okay. And one last question for you, if you don't mind, is I just wanted to know, we're here at the big MWC show. This is sort of a return to form for the industry in general. It's the first one where I've been back since COVID. So just an open-ended question for you, like what are you interested in here at this show, or what are you hoping to get out of this show, or what are you looking for at this show? I'm just kind of curious, like how are you going to spend your time here in Barcelona?
Mike, I wake up every day thinking about technology and how technology is really changing our society in the solutions that we put in front of our customers, but also what they do with that technology in really changing society in the use cases and applications that all of us are using and are beneficiaries as consumers. So when you walk around, the show floor here, I just saw some demos around, smart living rooms and the smart kitchen. This is not something that, you are just hearing about, you can actually see how it will be changing everyday life for all of us as users. So, you know, in addition to the more sophisticated applications of like automated guided vehicles, or the reference that you just made, somebody having a helicopter within their booth, and you know what technology can do, I'm really looking at, you know, seeing the parallel of, you know, some of these very sophisticated use cases that are going to take some time before they become generally adopted, but also the everyday solutions that are now becoming part of our everyday life.
Got it. Well, we'll cut it there. Thank you, Mishka. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Awesome.